Class 2 Chapter 13, Computer Networks and AMP, Telecommunication for Hospitality. Network Operating System. Home-based individuals as well as business enterprises use networks and telecommunication channels on a regular basis. Business networks use this medium for collaboration, communication and coordination of activities within an organization and among the shareholder groups that do business with the organization. Network servers are used to manage all aspects of computer connections, and individuals who are responsible for this operation are called network managers. The servers are run by network operating systems in the same way that Windows and DOS run standalone computers. The most popular network operating systems are called Novell and Windows NT. These operating systems handle the resources, files, and tasks of the network and its telecommunication to remote sites. Intranets. The Internet, intranets and extranets support email, video conferencing, chat/discussion groups, and multimedia web pages among different locations. Intranets are communication channels that are privately owned by commercial enterprises that permit employees to access information from inside the organization or from remote locations. Intranets resemble the Internet in the way they use browsers and search engines to help employees navigate the system. Extranets. Extranets are the same as intranets except that they are provided to outside individuals who do business with the organization, such as vendors/suppliers, guests and other customers. Most extranets provide only limited access to a company's information to assist the communication processes with the commercial enterprises that provide products or services to an organization. In today's economy, networks and telecommunications are used to link customers electronically with organizations to view product catalogs and order products or services from inventory and distribution databases. This is called electronic commerce, e-commerce, which uses the Internet to link the customer or guest with the hospitality enterprise. Seamless and rapid telecommunication networks make this form of customer interaction possible. Developing technologies. A major influence in telecommunications has been the shift from analog transmission to digital network technologies. Digital transmits in discrete binary impulses, as computers do, to provide higher transmission speeds, larger amounts of information movement, greater efficiency and much lower error rates. Billions have been spent by communication and entertainment companies to replace copper wire media with fiber optics that transmit data via laser light impulses. Land-based microwave wireless services are being replaced with low-orbit and regular satellite transmitters. Finally, developments in PDA and PCS technologies are bringing customers closer to telephony. Managers must be aware of these core technologies when making investment decisions concerning telecommunications to enhance the strategic positioning of their organizations. Network Operating System. Using the Internet. People who use the Internet are attaching their home or office computers to a telecommunications network that consists of billions of computers. When people surf the net, what they are really accessing is just one portion of the Internet known as the World Wide Web, www, where most commercial applications reside. Addresses on the web take users to domains, or websites owned by individuals, commercial profit and non-profit enterprises, and government and educational institutions. Domain addresses are governed by the standard called Universal Resource Locator, URL, and they end in suffixes that indicate the type of domain ownership. For instance, commercial sites end in .com, not-for-profit entities use the .org suffix, and government agencies and educational institutions use the suffixes .gov and .edu respectively. Internet service providers, ISPs. An Internet user must load software onto the computer to link it to an Internet service provider, ISP. The ISP may be a company such as Access Kenya, Africa Online, ISP Kenya, Swift Global, Unet etc., or may be the provider of a modem, such as a telephone or cable company, for example Telcom Wireless, Flashcom, Zuku etc. A modem is a medium channel that converts signals from digital to analog to digital. The word modem stands for modulator, analog, demodulator, digitizer. Types of modems. There are three types of modems. I. Telephone modems which operate at 56.6 kilobits per second. 2. Digital subscriber line, DSL, are usually provided by communication companies, telephone companies for instance, and operate at speeds of almost 200 kilobits per second. 3. Cable modems are often offered through a television cable provider, and just like DSLs they operate at speeds of almost 200 kilobits per second. Modem units may be inbuilt into computers or used as peripheral connections. When a user intends to enter the Internet, he or she will click on the icon of the ISP, which instructs the modem to connect the computer with the ISP server. Next, the user will launch a browser, Internet connection software such as Netscape or Internet Explorer, EA. Once a browser is launched, the user is taken to a browser or ISP homepage, which is a screen demonstrating various Internet utilities such as email, with a URL window displayed at the top of the page. If the user is familiar with the specific URL address of a website, they may simply type that address into the URL window. However, a user who wants to look for sites by topic or company name will use a search engine to find the URL address. Common search engines include Yahoo, Google, Allstar, Vista, and Dogpile among others. When a user clicks on the correct URL address, they are taken from the ISP server to the server owned by the intended website. Network operating system. Network connections. Some individuals use laptop computers to connect to LAN and WAN, wide area networks, in schools and organizations, as well as to the Internet through wireless connections. The most commonly used method is the Ethernet card that is inserted into a slot on the laptop or desktop computer that uses terrestrial microwaves to communicate with various networks. Users who connect from commercial enterprises to the Internet go through the same steps, with a few complex modifications. First, an office user runs through the company network to a hub, which connects the user to a router, taking that user to the Internet switch that is managed by the corporate network. From that point on, the steps for connection are the same as those for the home user, running through an ISP and browser and connecting directly with the Internet site by typing in a URL address. The prefix used for entering a direct URL address is known as the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, HTTP, / which is the standard used to identify universal resource locators. Summary. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. While going through the lesson, we have discussed the connection of computers through the use of networks and telecommunications for the purpose of local and global communications. LANs are local networks, usually contained within a building, that provide for sharing of information and computer resources. WANs and MANs perform the same functions over much broader ranges. The public domain access for telecommunications is the Internet, more specifically the World Wide Web portion of the Internet. Hospitality and tourism organizations configure networks to connect internally within the organization and externally to the world through the Internet. Internet and extranets use the same configuration as the Internet but are private networks that are owned by an organization. Intranets permit access to information such as employee portals, for employees in the organization's properties as well as those working in remote sites. Extranets are used to link outside parties to limited information sources within an organization. The corporate network manager is the individual responsible for the development, maintenance, and resource management of an organization's network. The software that performs these functions is called the network operating system. The prominence of the Internet has brought the hospitality and tourism industry into the e-business age. Managers must become aware of recent developments in telecommunication technologies to serve the needs of customers and guests and maintain competitive strategies for their organizations. Practice test. 1. Since network managers are responsible for the maintenance of resources and files contained in the system, what do you think are their main areas of concern? Name at least 5 areas and describe potential threats to those systems. 2. Thinking